It is a jam-packed weekend across DFW, the Dallas St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Arlington Grand Prix, and of course the start of spring break travel for families across North Texas. Senior meteorologist Jesse Hawila has his eyes on the forecast for you, and the weekend ends with a weather alert day.
It does, because we have big changes coming. And if you have outdoor plans Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, they'll be impacted heavily by the cold front that's coming in.
So have a plan B.
Have a plan B. It's not thunderstorm activity, but it's this. Sunday night into Monday, it's a strong cold front. Winds will be howling in the afternoon of Sunday and into the evening. Gusts 45, maybe up to 50 miles per hour. And then behind the cold front, even though it's been so warm, we'll have a light freeze in parts of North Texas early Monday morning, and then Monday morning wind chills will be in the 20s. It'll be a shock to your system. Y'all, we've been so warm that the wind chills in the 20s, that it will be shocking, I promise. Stay updated on the forecast. You need to bundle up. Maybe you've put your warm winter clothes away. Grab them for one more day and download WFAA Plus to your TV. So your weekend forecast looks like this. 82 tomorrow, little breezy. It's actually a beautiful day. Sunday starts off fine. Cold front gets in around 2 o'clock for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and you'll know when it gets here as winds pick up right behind it. That 84 falls very quickly down into the 30s by Monday morning. More detail on the incoming cold front, the winds, and the wind chills. It's all coming up.
Tonight, 9 people tied to the July 4th attack on the Alvarado ICE Detention Center are now awaiting sentencing. Today, a jury found them guilty on multiple charges. Scoop Jefferson has the reaction and the verdict as it was handed down.
A federal jury in Fort Worth convicted 9 people, prosecutors claiming they exposed a North Texas Antifa cell. Their defense attorneys say it was peaceful protest.
They went out there to do a noise demonstration, and as I stated in my closing, showcasing some of Mahdi's statements to provide a fourth outside of the facility.
Prosecutors told jurors the group arrived at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center last July 4th, dressed in black, armed with guns, fireworks, and explosives, then vandalized the center. Benjamin Song, the accused leader, fired the shot that injured an Alvarado police officer responding to the scene. Song, guilty of attempted murder of a police officer, discharging a firearm, and several other federal charges. His 8 co-defendants convicted on a range of charges, including rioting, providing material to support terrorism, and weapons and explosives offenses.
I thought she might have a chance on conspiracy. There's no way they established anything else. The
defendant's family and friends outside the courtroom every day with signs and banners.
A peaceful protest, if you consider that a riot, I don't know what the definition of a riot is anymore.
No comments from federal prosecutors after the verdict, but FBI Director Kash Patel wrote, "Acts of violence against our law enforcement partners will not be tolerated, and we continue our work to protect communities across the country from domestic terrorism." Now, Benjamin Song facing 20 to life in prison.
I know the jury did their very best.
I'm disappointed, but the jury has spoken, and we move forward.
For now, the defendants will remain in custody, back in court June 18th for sentencing. In Fort Worth, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
Tonight, we are learning more about this deadly crash that shut down Highway 80 in Forney for hours yesterday morning. Texas DPS says traffic was forced to slow down near Windmill Farms Road because of construction in the area. That's when they say an 18-wheeler rear-ended a Nissan, causing it to crash into 2 other cars ahead of it. The driver of the Nissan died. Everyone else involved was treated with minor injuries. Tonight, Texas DPS continues to investigate. Now to some important developments in the war with Iran. Several hours ago, the Pentagon announced it is sending 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. An additional warship, the USS Tripoli, is also headed to the region tonight. This comes about 24 hours after a U.S. military refueling tanker crashed in Iraq. All 6 people on board died. Central Command says the circumstances are under investigation and that the loss of the aircraft was not due to hostile or friendly fire. At least 13 American service members have now been killed in Operation Epic Fury. Meantime, Iran's blockade in the Strait of Hormuz continues to disrupt the global oil supply. The Trump administration is considering using military ships to escort oil tankers through that waterway. Well, this weekend will mark a year since 25-year-old Atiana Washington was hit and killed in a crash on Northwest Highway. The former president of the Dallas Police Association, Jaime Castro, was a passenger in the vehicle involved, and today he pleaded guilty for making a false statement about that crash. Tonight, Jobin Paniker shares what's next for Castro and Atiana's family.
Almost exactly a year ago, Atiana Washington was hit and killed walking home along Northwest Highway.
Shock and disbelief, like this is not happening.
We remember a mother's plea for justice back then. On Friday, Jaime Castro, who was in the car that hit Atiana, pled guilty to making a false statement to officers. Castro was the president of the Dallas Police Association. It is now Sean Pease.
Heartbroken over the loss of life that was at the forefront of this issue.
Sean says he has not been briefed on what happened, nor would he. Says it was off duty and outside the scope of this association. But Sean does still have to deal with the fallout.
I have gone to great lengths in the last several months to bridge a lot of gaps.
The attorney for the Washington family writes, "Our focus remains on obtaining accountability for the death of Atiana Washington and justice for her family." Friday's plea was some vindication. Early reports were that Castro was a passenger and his girlfriend was driving. The attorney writes, Mr. Castro now pleaded guilty to providing a false statement to law enforcement about who was driving the vehicle involved in this fatal crash.
Somebody that wears our uniform, how much we love this city. So anytime there's anything that seems contrary to that, yeah, I mean, it hurts.
As part of the plea agreement, Castro has to surrender his peace officer license, has to complete DWI classes, pay a fine, and serve 1 year of deferred probation. In Dallas, I'm Jobin Paniker.
Castro was placed on administrative leave after the crash. Late last year, he lost his bid to remain on the police association, and he retired in January. One of the men behind one of the most notorious prison escapes in Texas history was back in court today. Randy Halperin was part of the Texas 7, a gang of escaped prisoners accused of killing an Irving police officer nearly 25 years ago. He's currently awaiting a new trial after a court overturned his conviction. At a hearing today, Judge Leila Mays asked prosecutors and defense attorneys if they wanted to move up Halperin's trial date from 2027 to the end of this year. It's because Dallas County is preparing for Amber Gibbons to take over as district attorney in January. It's not clear whether she'll seek the death penalty for Halperin like current DA John Creuzot.
We got box and box and box. We got so much discovery. Our concern is just getting ready to defend. Right now, they're seeking a death penalty. We're trying to defend Mr. Halperin.
Halperin's trial is currently scheduled for 2027. We'll keep you posted if anything changes.